Okay, so the first thing we'll do is we're going to identify and label the primary and alternate recall relays. So we have to know what the relays are that we're going to use. In this case, we're going to use some onboard relays that I have plugged into my fire panel. I've got what's called an RL8 plugged into my fire panel, and I will decide what's going to be my recall. Let me back up a smidge here. We're going to look at OC number 1. That's going to be my primary recall, and OC number 2, that'll be my alternate. Find our configuration tool. So those are built into the onboards, and I'll come down here, and there's my OC number 1, and lo and behold, look at that. I already typed in that it's primary, and I did the one for alternate. So of time, sorry. I have to do things like that. Okay, so we have that put into the system. We get that part taken care of. Next thing is our elevator recall output groups. We'll set that programming up. We want to identify specific devices to activate the relays. Depending on where you're located in this country, determines how you want your elevator recall to work. If any of you happen to be doing work in and around the city of New York, you may find that you have 2 different types of recall. One that is every single device in the building recalls the elevator to the ground floor and nothing else. And then the other is that you may have the primary and the alternate. For our demonstration purposes, I want to show you how to do a primary recall as well as an alternate recall. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll flip back over to my programming tool. And the way we'll do that is the icon at the top of the page that is the speaker with the 2 blue arrows. We hover over it, you can see that it's our output groups. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in down below here, and I'm going to add a new output group. I can see that I have 4 existing output groups. The first one does alarm, test, alarm, and drill. Another one does trouble. Third one is supervisory, and the 4th one is any alarm. That doesn't sound like it's going to work for us. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go in and add a right click in the big open area, and I add an output group. And I'm going to add that output group as number 11. And then we said that that's going to be our primary recall. Okay, it is a standard group because the other option here would be audio, and we're not doing audio today. When I say okay to this, I have 7 options to choose from. I can do zone ranges, I can do double zones, I can do any alarm, something to do with a time clock, or write logic statements or audio packages. But the one I'm really interested in here is the individual input points. I click on the individual input points and I say, okay, it's going to give me all of the monitor points, all of the monitors. These are the guys that are out there supervising what's going on. So primary in my mind, and if this is different for you, but just bear with me, in my mind, primary is all of the elevator lobby devices would call the elevator down to the ground floor, where the fireman's key is. Now, it's most likely the first floor. So I don't want to tag a first floor smoke detector in the elevator lobby. I want to tag the one that's on the 2nd floor. Now, in this case, my zone category here, zone 1 is all my first floor devices, zone 2 is my 2nd floor devices. So I want the 2nd floor smoke detector to recall the elevator to the 1st floor. Once I've done that, as long as that input point is active, the signal pattern 0 is delay for no seconds and activate. And I'll say okay. So when we look at that, we can see we have a primary recall. I know it's a little faded. It's gray at this point. We'll make it black in a few moments. So that's my primary. And see, that's my 2nd floor elevator lobby, pulling my relay and pulling the elevator down to the 1st floor. Now what I'll do is I'll add the alternate. Again, simply right click in the big open area, type in here alternate, AL. Again, same standard output. We'll go back to the zone range and say okay. Sorry. Input point. Now I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the one that's on the 1st floor. This is the one where the key is that's going to send it to the alternate location. And I'll tag that one. There's the elevator on the 1st floor right here and say okay to that. So now I have the one that's going to bring it to the primary location, which is where the elevator key is located. And I'm going to have the one where the elevator key is located to send it someplace else. Now I've got the monitors. I've got the monitors, the inputs doing their thing. What I have to do is I have to tie these output groups to the workers, i.e. that'll be the relays. So let's flip back over and take a quick little look here. We have our output groups all written. We added the primary and the output, primary group, and we tagged the device. We added the alternate and we've tagged those devices. So the next thing we have to do is we have to go find the primary and alternate relays. So let's see what we do there. We're going to apply the output groups to the appropriate relays. Okay, we'll flip over. We already looked at those. They were on the onboards. Down on the onboards, here's our two relays down below here, OC1 and OC2. Here's my primary. And we can do two things. We can either come here and change the output group in the lower left corner, down here, or we can right-click in the big open area over here and do a quick edit. Because there is a column here that allows us for output groups. So there's our primary recall. Our primary recall equation was 11, and our alternate one was 12. And because I labeled those, look how the label comes right along with them. Now all I have to do is say close, and that takes care of that. So now we go back and we look at the output groups that we wrote. Primary and alternate used to be gray, now they're nice and black. They have workers, they have monitors telling workers what to do. Okay, inputs telling outputs how to work. So that takes care of that.